I see you, peekaboo, I see you, looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. One time from side to side.
Well, everybody, welcome back. We're into week 5 of the Immortal League now. We have a great matchup for you here tonight. I'm joined by the Bully and Ty. They are out sick, so we are wishing them the best. Hopefully that they get better soon, and that they can join us next week at least for the coming matches leading into the playoffs. So we got Dorado Gaming Gamma this time around. Last week we had Dorado Gaming Alpha going up against the Ember Wolves. Now, Bully, you're not really too aware of how things go around here, but I guess we could talk about the patch, I guess, that came out. I'm sure you're up to date on that. And anything exciting that you may want to see tonight?
That's funny because I was actually on vacation until 4 a.m. this morning, actually. So
Oh,
about that patch notes, yeah, it looks looking pretty good now. But I think just going over just the patch notes in the last couple of weeks, I think they're doing a pretty good job. Kind of hitting on the ADC mid laners. But I know in Chovy, for example, Chovy's been spamming ADC's mid lane, like actual ADC mid laners, Zeri, like Aphelios, Sivir, kind of wild.
yeah, the 80s, new mid ADCs, they're trying to get away with them a little bit. Yeah, like you mentioned, I noticed Chovy was playing Sivir mid. I don't think that's going to be coming out in our league anytime soon. If a team does draft that, I think it's going to be weird. I believe AL also, in the LPL, their mid
Hmm.
laner, I forget their name, drafted Draven mid in today's matchup. So I
Yeah.
don't think we're going to be seeing any of that come out. I believe that both these two teams are going to be excited with the Tristana Corki nerfs to get back onto those AP mage scaling champs. Maybe we'll even see the Yasuo Yon come out in terms of regular AD style champs we see. Brand's Clear did get nerfed a little bit in the jungle, as well as Lilia got hit pretty hard. I don't think we're going to be expecting Lilia to be coming out anytime soon. Brand might still be on the table in terms of, but his E damage has gotten slightly reduced. So I don't know if these two junglers have been feeling it out. I haven't had a chance to look at the OPGGs to see if anybody's played on the new patch yet. But I'm excited just for all around new things. We've been hearing that from production draft is going pretty interestingly. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but I'm
Yeah.
sure we're getting ever closer to getting into that.
Yeah, about like the Corki nerfs, things like that. The nerfs on Corki is whatever, in my opinion. I think it's still going to be played in pro play. They're going to still try to tune it down just a little bit. I think Riot in general is pretty happy about the rework of Corki because Corki went from becoming like kind of an AP poke, fell out of the meta. They reworked Corki, and then Corki became a dominant feature in most pro games. So I like how Corki's played now. Of course, super overpowered. Still, I think it's going to be played after this last patch. But Tristana's nerfs are much harder. Where they're adding the base mana is increasing, but now they're adding a mana cost to the rapid fire. So can't really just spam that increased attack speed in lanes, getting a lot more priority, having to, conserve mana a little bit more.
Yeah, and a couple buffs I'm excited about is we got some Aphelios buffs. Aphelios being one of my favorite champions in the game as an ADC Eddie carry player. I love Aphelios. I think he's one of the best champs in the game. The buffs aren't too substantial, but they're slightly more enough to get him a bit more prioritized within the meta. They buffed his Q damage on his sniper gun, his graviton gun, and I believe the turret gun. I can't remember the name of
Yeah.
it of all of them right now. So the Q damage on all of those have gotten buffed. So his wave clear is going to be a little bit more up to speed with champs that kind of do the static shiv rushes. You could maybe pull that out on Aphelios. I don't really think you should, but I'd like to see him come out into the meta. Scion buffs are interesting. You see that Riot is looking to get more into tank Scion, so that could be a top side pick. We were talking about a little bit of top lane before we got into the match here today, but Smolder is also an interesting one back onto the table. I believe his Q damage got increased a little bit, not slightly. I think it's like by 5 damage or something like that. So it could be ever so minimum, but it could potentially bring him back into the meta. We could be seeing the little dragon flying around on the rift once again.
The thing about Smolder is that the late game potential of that champion is absolutely absurd. So right,
Mm.
let's be careful of like bringing the early game power into Smolder because you want a champion kind of like Smolder that has a very weak early game, which can be exploited by um, gaining additional gold around the map, just getting that snowball lead to ensure that later in game Smolder is not gonna. They're gonna be a lot. less gold in their pockets to actually, put up a fight again. But if they do, give significant nerfs to the point where Smolder's early game is strong, it's gonna be so hard to fight a Smolder from early to mid to late game to the point where you're just gonna keep bleeding and eventually lose. But one of my favorite nerfs that happened was the Warmogs nerf, right? When Riot was
Uh,
having a problem of nerfing Warmogs because of the threshold, they were trying to do other stuff, but ideally for support is you need to just nerf the threshold, so the support just can't buy Warmock's first item and be on the map 24/7. Only have to back for wards.
yeah, yeah. They were definitely targeting Warmogs as a first item pickup for supports, and I agree with that. I think it's very strong on the top side with things like Mundo and Sejuani in the jungle. They can make very good use of that, but those are champs that are on the map for quite a
Yep.
long period of time, so it's like it kind of makes sense for them to build an item like that. But here we have the MF Leona Ashe already banned away from Dorado Gaming Gamma. Those are three very strong lane oppressive champions right now in the meta. Leona probably one of the best characters in the game given the state of it. But Rumble is going to be banned away. Interesting because I believe Rumble also got hit with some heavy nerfs this time around. I don't really think
Yeah.
either one of these teams would be wanting to pick that. But there's the AD carry. Hasn't gotten touched in a little while, but she's still extremely important in the meta. But it could also still be a flex, mid or AD carry.
Yeah, Rumble got hit to the point where like it's not a very good early game bully anymore. I believe level 1, the Q damage flame spitter was actually reduced by 45. So
Yeah.
45 damage at level 1 reduced, which is insane. I don't think I've seen a nerf like that since like, I really back in the good old days when that champion could one shot at level 1.
For sure. Irelia is also another one that did get adjusted this patch. I'm not too sure what happened to her, but she was getting touched, I believe. And so that could be something that comes out. It could be a mid or top flex here within this game, but lots of heavy AD already picked on both sides of the board so far. Viego's going to be locked in for Dorado Gaming with resets like an Ezreal and Nautilus already on this side. With combination of the Rel, I have a very strong feeling about Dorado Gaming's engage. It's going to be responded with from a Jerry X Xin Zhao, very good AD jungler in the meta. It could also play a little bit of disengage with the Crescent Guard. It's going to be able to knock away multiple members. Take a little bit less reduced damage as well. So Xin Zhao still in a pretty solid spot where we like to see them. Xin hasn't really been before the past couple seasons. He really wasn't in a great spot. So now it's fun to see more junglers come out into light. But I'm very strange to see that we've got two AD junglers already picked right off the bat. Maybe they have some sort of gentleman's agreement not wanting to go these AP junglers that Riot wants to force into the game. But do you think this AD jungle presence is in response to the AD mid nerfs that just came out? Maybe AP mids are going to start coming back alive like Quay. And so you want an AD jungler back in the pocket for that?
So the minute that you saw the Zinzao picked for EMWs and with the Ezreal picked, you can kind of assume that Ezreal's can go bot lane because when you do a mid lane AD mid laner, you typically use an AP jungler to kind of mix up your damage profile. So the minute that Zinzao was picked, that Ezreal is definitely gonna go bot lane. They picked up the Hui, who is actually a very solid pick, just in general, has a ton of damage, a good amount of range, but they're gonna be matched against the Blanc, which is gonna have a lot more roam potential, and the skirmishing power of this dog comp is pretty insane.
Oh yeah, and Aatrox is going to be locked in to round out the top side of Dorado. I mean, I don't know about you, but if you watched LEC the past weekend, Aatrox is looking pretty phenomenal, right? Given the state right now with Sundered Sky in the back pocket on that champion as well. I mean, 923 off of 1Q. That's absurd amount of healing. That should not be allowed within the game. Please do not bring that back, Riot. Thank you. But Malphite's going to round out the top side for Dorado. I mean, very standard pick here. Given the composition, you've only got really one AP champion to have to worry about. That AP champion is kind of a mage assassin, though. She can get into the backside, assassinate Ezreal, assassinate the Hui, and there goes a good chunk of your burst damage. But lots of AD was picked for Dorado, so this Malphite might come up pretty big.
Yep, and it looks like we do have some level 1 shenanigans coming out from the Ember Wolves, and let's see if they get matched with anyone. Nope.
No. Nope. Nothing gonna
It's
end up
hard to catch a
happening there.
LeBlanc with distortion.
Yeah, no, I agree. uh, all right, well,
in,
let's
in
see.
this game, I kind of expect Dorado to actually go for the early scuttles, especially with their kind of comp. Is when Ember Wolves kind of want to play together, play for these dragon stacking, because they have a very like team fight oriented comp. While Dorado want to kind of move around the map and get knock down these towers, and if they get 6 grubs, they're gonna be able to hit these towers for a lot and gain a pretty big gold advantage.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think that Attack Dog going up against Nukes on the Zeri should be a pretty big lane bully. Ezreal having the better level 1 out of the two. So I'm expecting a lot of poke to be coming out of Attack Dog, a lot of early aggression to try. You really gotta, like, suffocate this Zeri in lane. You cannot give her room to breathe because her laning phase is arguably the weakest part of her champion, is her laning phase. So you need to suffocate the champion within laning, put her back as much as possible so that you can win out in these 5v5s later in the game. Once you have those dragons stacked, once you have that kind of pressure to admit a 5v5. So if not, and she gets to do what she wants in lane, then she's just going to be strong throughout the entirety of the game, and that's definitely not what you want for the side of Emberwolves. But I agree. I think that the Void Grubs is what Dorado should focus towards. There's not really much split pushing potential on the side of either team, really. I mean, Kerrigan and Hazem are going to be split pushing menaces, as a Dredgeline's going to be able to come straight down onto Hey, I'm Scooter as Amanda. And with an awkward flash there, does get the Ignite tick down away, but they will force out Nukes and Hey, I'm Scooter. So they are not going. Their level 2 advantage will go in favor of the Emberwolves.
Yeah, and that's gonna be both sums coming out from Amanda, which you get a lot of damage to Ham Scooter, but Amanda actually does not have the Hex Flash, so doesn't have better Flash as I would call it because it's just on a 15-second cooldown. It's so fun to
Yeah.
use. But they're gonna be fine in this lane as Zeri Rel, but you can kind of tell what they want to do on the bot side of Ember Wolves is they want to get to the point where Amanda can have free roams across the map, trying to get some things going across the map, but Prow is down here just to make sure nothing goes awry.
Yeah, maybe looking for some sort of early gank advantage. It could have possibly been there if Amanda and Attack Dog had shoved the wave under the tower, but they did a great job winning out the level 2 advantage and letting the wave bounce back as JX goes for the invade immediately onto Prowl, forces out the flash already, looking like they want to potentially go smite for smite onto this. Oh, here comes down Kerrigan, the LeBlanc, and Nukes and Scooter. The cavalry are pulling up. Jared blasts the flash away. The Fear's gonna end up missing. Kerrigan flashes forward, gets the rooted chain, and First Blood goes over to the Viego out of Proud. And that's a champion you definitely want that 400 gold stacked on. I maybe can make an argument that you want to give that over to Zeri, given how her laning phase it should go within this matchup. But getting that Viego on early is what's going to allow for, like you mentioned earlier, Billy, that early map presence that Dorado wants to fight for, whereas Emberwolves want to fight for that stacking sort of dragon fight sort of composition.
Yeah, so I like to invade. Jerry was able to get the flash out and out of Prow immediately, but the mistake he made was actually continuing that red buff while he was on vision, because that allowed his entire team to actually collapse while the Emberwolves bot side and mid side were too far away. And not only did Jerry have to use their flash, but they died in the process. So instead of trying to continue with that buff, they probably just had to back off and try to look for more support, or at least try to call their team up just in case.
Yeah, I agree. You saw Lost and Echoes tried to come for the peel, even if Amanda and Attack Dolls wanted to peel for Jerry X, it would have been a little bit too late as Attack Dog is going to get ignited down. Nukes has picked up a kill within the lane. Can they CC chain out Amanda, though? It's not looking potentially like it. Gotta be careful. Nautilus damage is pretty absurd. He could look for a trade onto Scooter, but is not going to be wanting to go for that, as the neutral objectives will be spawning up here very shortly. And we see that Prow is already making a presence known towards the top side of the map. Hazem has already shoved out the lane, has a TP, does not need to proc it right now. But it's looking like, with Kerrigan shoving in the mid lane too, that the first set of grubs is potentially going to go over to the side of Dorado, as Jerry is going to get pinged out. Prow maybe looking for a little bit of revenge, going for a counter invade, forces the smite coming down out of Jerry. The stun's going to be channeled up. Lost and Echoes are going to get stunned out. Another chain is going to be going down onto the way with no mana, but Jerry is able to find the kill onto Prowl already. Kerrigan with the distortion trying to get out with their life, and the QE is not nearly going to be enough there. Jerry's just going to be able to knock up Scooter, who lands a massive dredge line down, and Scooter is just going to have to use the dismount to get out with their life. So that's going to be Prio regained, and now Jerry is going to move towards this dragon. Interesting that they don't decide to go for the grubs here.
Well, I mean, they're pushing power. They're not going to be able to hit these towers very easily, so they have to try to look for the dragon stacking, opposed to Dog's Comp, which they could look to, you know, start taking down these towers just by autoing it.
Yeah, you take it away from Dog. That's like
yeah.
You know that's their win con.
The problem that happened in that fight, right? Jerry already had to back because they died. So they had 2 longswords in their pocket while Proud had nothing. They stayed on the map the entire time, and that's a problem with overstaying, is that you need to know your timers, where the scrubs are spawning, you know, the dragon already spawned. You need to take your reset now because you want to stay on the map when these important neutral objectives come into play. And just like that, you give up a kill. Yes, you trade, you know, neutrals, but it was just a mistake going for that invade in the first place.
We're going to see where's Prowl going to have to next. Could be looking to push out into the top side here, as HP Gamer is quite significantly low. Not going to heal up as much as Hazam will later on in this fight. The World Ender's going to be online too. Will they get the wrap around? Who knows? Maybe HP Gamer will commit the Unstoppable Force on to this. No, he wants to go. He still wants this counter invade. Smite out of Jerry X will be there. Does he get the red buff? It's not looking like it because he goes down for it. Prowl able to pick up another kill. So these invades are going blow for blow right now. I think this is the most action we've had in the jungle for like in a long time here, especially in our cast. It's very interesting. Both these junglers fighting desperately for Prowl. I mean, if we look at the camps, like Prowl already as a Viego has a better and faster clear than Jerry after the first back. And so he's just looking to extend that lead as much as possible, and maybe trying to bully Jerry a little bit for invading him, as he's just fighting Jerry again, man.
Yeah, so that time, you know, Kerrigan was just in the vicinity, and Jerry decided to go, thinking it was a 1v1, but when you don't see a LeBlanc for quite a long time, you should know that there might be something brewing, and Jerry had to give their life for it. And the top side, HP Gamer has to take it back because they're pretty low on both HP and mana, but there might be something can happen top side.
Yeah, the World Ender's already been procced. Prowl's going to be a little bit late for the cleanup here, potentially. Hazam has the flash, hasn't used it. It does use it now, but he falls anyway due to a rock, I believe, thrown halfway across the map by HP Gamer. That just chased down Hazam, so he's going to be able to pick up a kill into the Malphite, but Hazam has TP. So this is kind of an okay spot for him. He's going to be able to TP back and get the wave shoved under HP Gamer's tower, and HP Gamer will not be able to realistically respond because he does not have the TP of his own. So that will go 1-for-1 out into the top side with 3 kills being picked up onto the Viegos. Looking pretty strong this early game out of Dog.
In that case, Proud could have actually just pushed out that top wave and that got that minion crashed. And not only that, they're probably going to be able to pick up a plate pretty quickly because of those 3 grubs already taken. So I think that's a small misplay. I think you push that in, HP Gamer will lose quite a bit of minions, and Hazim wouldn't have to use their TP to get back in the lane to get the shoved. So they would have had that in case of another play in the making.
Definitely. I could definitely see that being a bit more worthwhile. Scooter might find themselves caught out a bit. Kerrigan is going to come down. It's going to be Fleet Root CC'd up for the days, Scooter there. As they're just going to be able to trade out at least the control ward here. There's no dragon on the board for another 2 minutes, so you guys really don't have a need to fight right now unless you absolutely want to. We're not going to complain. We love watching the action, so... but looking across the gold lead right now, there's about a roughly almost 3k gold lead over the side of Dorado. And most of this gold sits within the top side. Yes, there's a kill over on the side of the Malphite, but there's nearly stacking almost 1,000 gold lead building up as Prowl's looking to go onto Lost and Echoes. The Chamber is going to be able to come down in combination with the stun. Austin is going to commit the ultimate, maybe trying to get burst on the Prowl, who nearly loses their life for that. Almost goes 1-for-1. But back to what I was mentioning, the top side is the 30 CS gap and 2 kills on to the Zeri, as well as 3 now into the pocket of the Viego is what's really pulling this gold lead. Hazam has to prop the World Ender. No flash, and when HP Gamer throws a rock at you, your movement speed is negated by 4 million. So the Malphite is going to be able to pick up another into the top side, going to help him push out that gold lead a little bit more. As Amanda's going to land a nice dredge line, but the parry, your Ignite goes for it, but he goes at least 1 for 1. I respect that. That's a great play. It's going to go 1 for 2. Okay, that's really good because not only does Nukes get the kill, the shutdown onto Nukes went over to Amanda. So that's the support. You do not care that the Nautilus got the shutdown. But you killed the Ezreal, who's now going to miss almost 2 whole waves of CS. He missed the one under the tower there because he died, and now he's going to miss this one that's maybe a little bit frozen there. It looks like in front of his tower, so Scooter maybe could have pushed that one out. But he's going to miss a lot more off of that than Nukes will, is what I'm trying to get at.
Ember is actually going to take a dangerous player here. Yes, it looks like it's going to go uncontested, but if Proud was on this top side looking for the 6 scrubs, they don't have that Malphite ultimate in this fight, and that ultimate is absolutely massive in terms of a 3v3 team fight. But it looks like they're just going to trade objectives again, as Dorado's going for that setup on the dragon.
For sure, it's going to be 3 for 3 Void Grubs on both sides. I don't disagree with this play. You have pushing power into the bot side with a 3-in-1 Zeri who's just based off of that and got the static shiv. So you're going to be able to stop this dragon stacking in its place for the side of Emberwolves, and now going into the team fights, you're going to be able to limit it even more because your Zeri is that much farther ahead. Oh, this dive could be devastating. Amanda is down to about a quarter of HP, will eventually fall to the LeBlanc, who picks up both of them into the tower dive there. They're going to be able to shove out this weight, get more plates, more gold into the pocket of Zeri, and just the scaling out of this Dorado team is just looking scary, as Jerry will be able to potentially find Hazam, and the unstoppable force comes down. HP Gamer cleaning that one up. You know, Hazam not having a wonderful laning phase, is getting kind of camped into the top side, but he doesn't really have to worry about it. He just procs World Ender within a fight and takes all the damage so that Zeri and LeBlanc kill everybody, and then Proud gets a reset off of those kills and goes crazy. So he's doing his, he's gonna do his job as, oh my, you did not have to do that. Poor guy just wanted a little bit of gold. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, and on both sides, right? You know where the player was going to be. When, you know, if you're Dog, if you're the Aatrox, you know your play is going to be bot side. So there's a possibility the play for Ember Wolves is going to be on you. So you don't have to overextend. And that's exactly what happened. The Aatrox falls. But on the flip side, Attack Dog should have known that there was a possibility that before they got to this turret, they would actually just been jumped on, and that's exactly what happened. It's all about give and take, all about risk and reward, and just walking up and looking for these like just minimal CS plays.
Infernal Chains onto Amanda. It's going to be the Q3. Proud gets the reset. Can you root up Jerry, though? Will be able to find that one. Fear Proc's not going to be able to come out of Lost in Echoes. That another reset for Proud is going to help him get on top of this mid laner. One more Q will get the knock-up down, and the ultimate will clean up the kill. It's a triple kill for this Viego. And oh my, Proud is pushing his lead perfectly within this game. The Rift Tail is going to be spawning up here as well. So they have gained themselves this top side prio, as well as mid lane prio, with Lost in Echoes falling there. That's going to open up Kerrigan to push out the wave. So they should be able to claim this top side objective.
The funny thing is, like, you know, you have 5 kills on your team, but 3 of them on a Malphite. And fortunately, that's not where you want that goal to be. Even if it was Jerry got those kills, probably would have made more impact on the map. On the Malphite, they're going to have that very team fight oriented ultimates available no matter what. And you know, I've seen an 0-6 Malphite be useful, I've seen a 6-0 Malphite be unkillable, but in this game you need the damage, you need your team to have a lot more gold in their pocket if they're going to be able to, you know, fight back in these all-ins from Dorado.
Speaking of all-ins, Hazam feeling it. Maybe the 5th time is the charm onto HP Gamer, going in for the all-in. As Kerrigan's going to notice they walked over a control ward there. Scooter's going to go for a little bit of a jungle invade, force the Smite coming out of Jerry. He commits the Magnet Storm as well. Ignite 2 as he goes over the wall. Pro looking for a potential another reset. The Crescent Guard not going to be enough to save you this time around. And now it's looking like a potential collapse onto Attack Dog and Amanda. Scooter maybe looking to dismount over the wall. That tower is looking dangerously low. You know it's going to be on Kerrigan's hit list here. They want to be able to stop it. Attack Dog and Amanda, I don't think you have the wave clear to stop this from falling, and they can push this into the top side objective. Flash forward, Scooter's gonna get dredge lined. It is dropping dangerously low, as the Nautilus ultimate is gonna be able to come straight down onto Kerrigan as the True Shot Barrage finds about nothing there. Gotta be careful, this turret is gone. Nukes is just gonna look to continue to pressure out, and now they're gonna move for the objective.
Yeah, we're seeing about an 8k gold lead at 15 minutes, and a lot of that is because of the CS difference, and not only jungle and actually every lane has a major CS difference, but kills on top of it, and it just feels like the entire map is just in Dorado's hands. Ember Wolves can't even get their own jungle camps in peace, and it's just all about just, you know, crossing the T's and dotting the I's and just winning this first game and bringing us to match point for them.
I agree. I mean, it's really hard when Azeri has a 30 CS lead of just about over her opponent. It's really hard to win out those games. It can be done, but when with a hyper carry champion like that, when they get so far ahead, it makes the game really that much more difficult. As Prowl's going to prop the Scrying Orbs, going to spot out Echoes and Amanda, and they're going to push out this mid lane wave, hopefully, and get for the positioning onto the Dragon. As Echoes is just going to get assassinated by Kerrigan. I mean, this is what we're going to be expecting coming out of the LeBlanc. Throughout the majority of the game, his kill potential is on Attack Dog and Echoes, so might as well push for that. But this Ember Wolves team, they're looking to trade out the Rift Herald for the Dragon, as Jerry's going to get engaged on out of Hazam. The Infernal Chains is going to pull him back. Crescent Guard's committed, and Nukes comes in for the assassination. Can he get 2? Yes! Nukes on this area looking for potential triple kill here. No, it's going to be picked up by Kerrigan. If they continue to go forward, maybe we could have an early game Zeri pentakill. But, you know, Echo's just respawning. That is not going to end up happening. And now we're going to get objective 4 objective. No chance for a trade out here out of Ember Wolves.
Yeah, I'm just noticing. I was wondering how Lost in Echoes was getting bursted out, and decided to go for the Blackfire Torch for the first time. I know some people end up doing that, but in a game against someone like LeBlanc, I think the Ceres is like a must to buy, because you're just going to get targeted every time. You're just going to get blown up. So, yes, you have more damage with the Blackfire, but you're not going to get your damage off because you're just going to get one shot.
Yeah, I agree. Hwei into LeBlanc, not looking very much Hwei favored at the moment. Kerrigan putting on an absolute clinic around the Rift right now. This entire Dorado Gaming team is just on a different level this game, as Attack Dog's going to be able to come in through the Hex Gate, has to use the Arcane Shift to get over the wall and get away from Nukes, does not want to be anywhere near this Zeri. You see the last Whisper has been picked up, it's going to be looking to path towards that LDR. You know, HP Gamer, you might be a little bit tanky, but Zeri at this moment is going to have the items to be able to chunk you down anyway. You're not that tanky just yet, and neither is this Nautilus, so you know, Ember Wolves, they kind of have to play a little bit of a long game right now. They're not in a great spot to take a team fight, but at the same time, the longer they play out this game, the only stronger Dorado Gaming is going to get, as HP Gamer is just going to trade their life out here. I mean, that tower has no HP.
I mean, yeah, they're going to die either way, so wait. Looks like they actually did use the ultimate right there, but Jerry's just going to get caught out, possibly top, but no.
Oh, TP is coming down. It's going to be Nautilus using the full kit. A great 3-man Magnet Storm, but the True Shot Barrage is only going to be able to chunk down the clone from Kerrigan. As the chain into the Infernal Chains is an absolutely disgusting combo. As the World Ender Hazam is procced. Prow is getting the resets. Echoes, I don't think you want to be having that TP. Flashes to try and kill Kerrigan, but the ultimate lands. He lands the ultimate. What in the world? How did he get that off? What?
Yeah, Kerrigan thought they were cool with it and ended up using Distortion back to the original point where Lost in Echoes threw their ultimate at, and they pick up a kill for themselves, but unfortunately for them, they are a 12k gold deficit. It's just so hard to win this game at this point. And the thing about Emerald's comp is that they want to get to a point where, you know, Hwei and Ezreal both are to a point where they're doing a lot of damage, but they're both sitting on, they just completed their second item each, and you're looking at the champions on Dorado. They're sitting at 3.5 items, almost 3 items, and it's like, where are we gonna find the damage in our comp to actually, burst them out before we get bursted out?
Oh, and here, we have our wonderful replay system here with the 2-man Magnet Storm is going to be absolutely disgusting. There's the chain onto Amanda, straight into landing those Infernal Chains onto the Aatrox to be able to pull everybody straight back in as the one ender gets proc to finish off Jerry. And here we're going to see Lost in Echoes once again snipe Kerrigan with the ultimate, potentially. It flashes basically nowhere, but then disgustingly hits Kerrigan again. So he kind of makes up for a useless flash and gets a shutdown onto the little block.
Yeah, in game 2, I might as well start talking about game 2. In my opinion, I think Emeralds need to kind of match Dorado's early game power, because Dorado kind of ran away with it. They couldn't match the aggressiveness of Prowl in the jungle, and they couldn't match the massive lane priority that Dorado was able to get every lane.
Jerry once again getting caught out in their own jungle, just trying their best to find some angle, some way back into the game. Amanda forced to burn out the flash. It's gonna be Dog, maybe looking for an end game angle here. Scooter's gonna land the nice strategy strike onto HP Gamer. The Baron is up as Kerrigan just goes in onto Lost in Echoes, and the Electro Beam is going to get enough damage to get the reset onto Prowl. Kerrigan finds the assassination onto Amanda into a Magnet Storm and going to get the nukes kill onto HP Gamer. And it feels like there's an end game angle here. Are we going to have an end game Shelly? This could be a potential here. Lots of the members on the side of Dorado are extremely weak though. So if they can wait, Jerry's going to be
drive it in. Drive it in.
Yeah, they're gonna drive it in. They're gonna try to end here. Jerry and Attack Dog are full HP though, whereas a lot of the members out of Dorado are not. TP's gonna be committed out of Kerrigan coming back into this fight. The True Shot Barrage is not gonna be enough damage to burst anything down as Jerry X will fall once again. Shelly has also been eliminated. I'm sorry, poor Shelly. As the Lost in Echoes ultimate is going to end up going wide. Amanda trying to look for some sort of engage angle, at least try to zone off all of these members as HP Gamer just flashes in with the unstop power. I mean, might as well when they're all that much low on HP. But it's Kerrigan trying to assassinate Attack Dog, and a couple of shutdowns went over there. A triple kill, maybe a quadra here? No, HP Gamer takes that one. But, shutdowns there over on the side of Ember Wolves. Yeah, you're sitting with an open Nexus right now, but, there's a dragon on the map. There's a Baron on the map. You could get an objective off of that, and you could maybe slowly find an angle back into this game for the short time being.
Yeah, actually, Lost in Echoes, I believe, picked up 2.5k gold right there. I think those 2 1k shutdowns and another kill onto somebody else. So, and an assist. So, they basically got a whole item off of that, and you see them building towards that tier right now and trying to get the Saros. They're gonna pick up the Baron, and actually, never mind. Looked like there's gonna be some resistance here.
Azam coming in with a World Ender. It is going to get smited down, but do they have the damage to burst them away as well? Jerry going to be able to find this area. Hazam doing his own 1v9 performance right now. Maybe he wants to go over the wall into Attack Dog. Is going to be able to spot out HP Gamer and Lost in Echoes, though. Is going to flash over the wall, too. Wants to get the knock up. The Q2 ends up landing a triple kill for Hazam on the the Aatrox. Maybe can he get the Quadra? Infernal Chains lands. Does not pull HP Gamer back, though. The movement speed reduction is going to be able to hinder the fact that this Aatrox cannot chase him down. Can they give the kill over to Hazam though? HP Gamer is going to get Ignite ticked away, but this Dorado gaming team, they're just going to go for the Nexus. Don't hit it yet! Let Hazam come back! Let him get the Penta! Don't flash the thumbs up! Let Hazam get the Penta! Oh, the members have respawned. So this game will end up falling. Ember Wolves will lose map number 1 against Dorado Gaming.
Yeah, and that you would think that with most people down on Dorado, they're going to be able to take that Baron, but unfortunately for Ember Wolves, they just did not have damage at that point of the game. They just didn't have the money, and you can see Lost in Echoes, even though they got a triple kill at the end of the game, got a bunch of shutdowns, they did less than 10k damage in that entire game, and that's less than 4 people on Dorado.
Yeah, it's going to be back to the drawing board for Ember Wolves. We have seen them, take maps off of some teams here throughout this season. They were able to defeat Lane Zone Maelstrom, I believe, last week. They were able to get the dub there. They're looking for their second dub of the season right now. They're looking to try and break this 3-way tie at the moment for third place going into the playoffs. We got Lane Zone, Drop Dead Gaming, and Ember Wolf sitting out of 1 and 2. So it's tied, but not tied, because right now Lane Zone, Lane Zero has the advantage due to their map record. So Ember Wolves, you're gonna have to fight for a 2-1 here against Dorado, arguably one of the favorites to win the entire season right now. It's not gonna be easy.
It's not gonna be easy, but it's not about getting to playoffs or trying to just making the playoffs and maybe have an early exit. It's about winning the whole thing, and if you want to do that, you have to beat the best. And if you want to be the best, of course,
You
you
gotta
gotta act like you go into every game knowing that you're the favorites to win.
Well, right now, Dorado Gaming Gamma are the favorites to win. Will we see Ember Wolves come up with some sort of upset? Maybe they'll take map number 2. They're going to have to head back to the drawing board and see what went wrong. But for now, we're going to throw it to a short break, and we'll see you when we're ready for draft number 2. Side to side, without you by my side, my side, my side, without you by my side. One time from side to side. Peekaboo, I see you, peekaboo, I see you, looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side, without you by my side. One time from side to side, without you by my side. I can't go outside, without you
to protect your soul.
All right, everybody, we're just about ready to get started with game number 2. Dorado Gaming Gamma, the expected favorites here to win out the series. Maybe Ember Wolves have some sort of strategy after that game plan went out. Maybe they want to up the tempo themselves and draft something a little bit more early and try and set the pace, because it looked like last game that Dorado really came out swinging. They set the pace, they set the standard, and it was up to Ember Wolves to catch up, and they unfortunately were outpaced.
Yeah, a big part of that is drafting, multiple losing lanes and, the big point of contention of where the bot lane, where is your only hope to actually salvage a winning lane, it went downhill pretty quickly. So the minute you have 3 losing lanes and just full priority in the jungle for Dorado, the game's just absolutely lost. They can't withstand the damage of Dorado and eventually just bled out.
Yeah, I agree. So as we get into this draft, we're gonna see what Ember Wolves have gone for, what they want to sort of cook up here. Maybe we got some bans coming down. I don't think that they felt as though the Aatrox was much of a threat, so that might be able to make its way through. But something like the Zeri, something like the LeBlanc, potentially are not going to make it through again this time around. Or maybe, they're going to try and take away the Zeri for the side of Ember Wolves. Maybe that's a champion they want to draft for a bit. But you can see with this kind of composition, lots of heavy AD with the 1 AP champ out of the LeBlanc. So it makes a bit more sense what Ember Wolves drafted. They wanted to, get tanky with the Nautilus, get tanky with the Malphite. It made a lot of sense going up against this heavy AD comp, but unfortunately, that AP champion kind of just ran the game for the side of Dorado Gaming. Because once they got ahead early on, they were able to just perma roam and invade with that Viego. And that is what really helped set the tempo. And then eventually the Zeri Rail started making their presence known across the map. So it was really hard. I didn't dislike the Ezreal that came out of Ember Wolves. Did the most damage on their team last game. I think that if you want a scaling AP champ, it doesn't really feel like Hui is the answer, at least with that kind of composition. Maybe hit the drawing board, see what else you could pull out in that kind of regards. But I don't mind the bot lane that did come out of Ember Wolves. I wouldn't mind seeing, if you draft this Ezreal though, letting Amanda roam around the map a bit more. It looked like Jerry really did want to go for those early jungle invade pryos. Pull Amanda with them and just allow them to let Amanda be at each objective and let them make their presence known across the map, because as we know, Ezreal is one of the best solo laning AD carries.
Yeah, the problem with the Ember Wolves comp is when they're drafting, they're thinking about team fights, right? But it's not how to, at that point, yeah, it could work well if you're at a good game state. Your team fights could be good front to back potential with the Malphite. But the problem is getting there is very difficult, especially with drafting the Malphite. If they had to change something with this comp, they had to change the Malphite. They need to have something that has early game pressure to get these other lanes to scale into the point where they can be an actual threat. But if your Malphite is going down CS, they can't contest grubs. They're just losing their top turret. Even if they're getting kills because, the Aatrox is playing pretty aggressive, it doesn't matter because those kills on him is worthless at that point because you don't have any other damage on your team until later in the game.
Yeah, I agree. But so far, we've got ban for ban. Ember Wolves are going to be taking over the blue side this time around, which, as we know, red side seems to be the win side a little bit more recently. Red side loving to have those counter picks. At least in solo queue, red side seems to be, for some reason, the stacked side. And having counter pick in competitive can be pretty substantial. So that one is most likely going to be given over to Kerrigan in the mid lane, and allowing him to play one of those carry champions for Kerrigan. And this time it's looking like we're going ban for ban as we did in game number 1. Everything looking about just the same, except we have a Corki ban out this time around for Dorado.
In terms of red side's actually been pretty favored for pros as well, just because of how the meta's rolling, especially with the AD carry mids. You kind of want to see the comp before you finalize it. But yeah, just pretty similar bans to Corki taking out, which kind of shows that there's a good possibility there's a champion that Dorado wants to play. That you know what? I think that's actually going to be an Ezreal mid.
It could be. It could very well be an Ezreal mid. Gwen's going to be picked up. I've seen some funny things with Gwen going into the jungle. It could be a Gwen jungle. AP junglers are not in a bad spot. So if, you know, maybe Pra wants to mess around a little bit and go for that, but the Ornn's going to be picked up. So they're going to be thinking this is a Gwen top. Gwen v Ornn is a pretty substandard matchup. We've seen time and time and time again. Ezreal could be going into the bot side. Nukes could be whipping that one out as the Zeri was taken away, as I did mention that. Braum's going to be picked up as well. Great into the Gwen and Ezreal already. Going to be able to block out a ton of the damage that's already been coming out. And now, do you pick mid lane here? Do you pick support? I think you go for the support. The Lulu. Okay. I really am starting to feel like this is an Ezreal mid.
The reason why is because once you see the Corki ban, Corki was actually pretty solid into Ezreal for the last couple patches. And so just taking out the Ezreal reduces the champion pool that, like, I feel like they believe that Lost and Echoes can't play a lot of counters into Ezreal, and allow them to play a more open comp. And just looking at that Gwen top lane is another AP threat, so they're not actually going to pinch themselves to always go an AP jungler. They're going to be able to actually play an AD jungle with still the possibility of good AP damage around the game. And, you know, maybe we see a Ziggs here at some point just because.
Oh, Ziggs mid could actually go pretty hard into the composition.
Not mid.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ziggs ADC.
If
it's real. If that's real mid. But Vayne is going to be picked up. Okay, that could be Vayne AD carry. It could be Vayne top side still though. It could be Gwen jungle.
Where would Gwen go?
Jungle.
Nah. Yeah,
it's possible. Okay, it's possible. I'm not saying it's likely. I'm just saying it's possible. You know, here, Bully, we got to talk about all of the possible outcomes. All right. Like, it could be Vayne top, it could be Vayne AD carry, it could be Ezreal mid, it could be Ezreal AD carry. We do not entirely know until this is picked right here. This has got to be the pick that's going to solidify it all. Viego's going to be rounding out.
Easy peasy.
And you know, honestly, at this point, I'd expect them to pick Ivern. And it will be Zach. Okay, so that could go anywhere as well, realistically, but I think that it will be Gwen top, Zach jungle, Ezreal mid, and Vayne Lulu bot. I think that will be the composition.
Yeah, it's guaranteed a Vayne Lulu bot because of, you know, the idea of having Lulu with the Ezreal just doesn't seem that good.
No.
But obviously with the Vayne, it's actually really good, and it does look like that's gonna be the Zach jungle. And
it is Ezreal Lulu bot. Okay.
Oh, it's Ezreal Lulu bot.
Yeah, as you can see here,
God.
you know, our lovely production team is already in the game, ready.
So what happens when LCK and LPL start playing AD carry mids? It's all gonna go haywire.
I would have honestly, you know, wouldn't have been too surprised if we had like a Zac mid with a Vayne top or something like that. You know, like this game, realistically, any of these champions could have gone really anywhere. Like any of these champions really could have gone anywhere. But we're gonna like
the Gwen top though. I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think it's solid. I think that the Zac pick is a little underrated. I think Zac is in a pretty good spot right now. There's a lot of junglers that kind of do what he does better. But I think for this game, it's a little all over the place. But I just received word that we have been booted out of the lobby for some unknown reason. So we're gonna go cut to a short break while we get everything and all the kinks situated. So we will be right back, hopefully with no bugs, and within game number 2. So don't go anywhere.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna try, but you
All right, everybody, we are back finally. No glitches. It seems as though the entire lobby crashed. So our players had to create a whole new lobby for us to be able to spectate as everybody was booted out. And, you know, Kerrigan and Lost Echo's going to be going for interesting trade out here. I believe Kerrigan wins this early on. But yeah, that was a little interesting there. As we see things on the Rift, you know, kind of. I mean, this is what we were expected going after the draw. Actually, no, this wasn't what we were expected. After what we saw in the draft, we thought it was
Oh,
extra
see,
blue bot. It is Bane.
see, it had to be. I was right. I was right.
Okay, so we have a little bit of lane swap shenanigans going on. Okay.
Oh, I wonder if they accidentally did they crash or did they actually put the champion the right side?
Nukes goes, wait, I'm not playing Ezreal. Let's crash the game.
Looks like after the early shenanigans, we just have, you know, a standard, whatever the point this is. I don't think that's a 5 point. That's like a 3 plus 0 plus 2.
All right. Well, while we have dead time, given the comp that Ember Wolves have drafted, we're probably going to have a good 15 minutes of dead time. In this game, we're going to talk a little bit about ProComps, who's given Dorado Gaming here, as you can see, a draft score, 53% chance of winning. So this is what ProComps can do for you. It can take the game that you're in. It will spectate it. It can act such as like a virtual assistant, a virtual coach, and it'll take the post-game data analytics and it will take it and run that against the current meta, against current compositions being played, and it will kind of teach you where you needed to play, how you should have played the composition, and what type of meta picks you should be looking for. So if you are looking to up your draft game within your amateur team, or within your solo queue, ProComps, it's easy to install, free to install, 2 clicks away if you have the browser already on your PC. I believe it's called Overwolf or something like that. You just can install it through there for free, quick, easy to use. Everybody should use it if you are looking to up your drafting game.
Fantastic. Now, can it like give me a percentage before we get a game so I could dodge?
You know, maybe. Actually, I don't know. It might be able to. I'm not entirely sure. I just know that I'm dodging every single game in rank that I see an aura on my team at the moment. So,
just ban
yeah.
it. What?
Ban
This
it?
is a ban feature. Yeah.
Nah, I'm not wasting my 80 carry ban on aura.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen a lot of action so far. We did see in topside, we see the Gwen push into HP Gamer, and you know, a small CS lead up topside, but not a lot of action in the other lanes. The Lost and Echoes apparently had a great game against lane 0 Maelstrom on this
Oh!
Aurelion Soul. Oh,
Okay! HP Gamer once again getting the better of Hazam. Can we get a replay on that? For once our direct. Wait, no replay yet. No replay yet. We have a gank at the bot side happening. It's gonna be Jerry X coming in onto the VA. Go! Oh,
Yeah.
Jerry X does get a reset onto Nukes. This is looking phenomenal for Ember Wolves. This is exactly what we needed to see from them last game. They're pulling it off this game, and in a composition that wants to go 30 minutes. It makes no sense.
Yeah, they, you know, pulling out all the stops and topside, just a little bit disrespect. Or does a lot of damage, a lot of base damage early game, and Hazem did not respect it at all, and they got taken down for first blood, and they want revenge.
Yeah, no mana on the Ornn. Realistically, maybe just trying to keep them from recalling the base just to get
Yeah.
that mana up, far up. But, you know, Ornn doesn't really have to. As we have the replay here, you know, directed camera, usually a topside Warlord. But this time around, it was not. And, oh, Hazam just steps, gets the level up. I see what they want to go for, but steps in front of the pillar. And, yeah, unfortunately, the Ornn damage level in the early phases, it's just nothing to mess around with.
Hmm. Especially with the brittle procs, and since as a Gwen player doesn't take flash, has the ghost, didn't have enough movement speed to just get away until HP Gamer decided to flash and secure that kill. So good kill on the Ornn, is able to get some gold in their pockets and get a little bit more tankier, and you know, is going to be able to withstand the pressure of Hazem when they hit level 6.
For sure, but we're gonna be having neutral objectives spawning up here soon. And what are we thinking, Blue? We talked about it a lot last time around. Is Emberwolves gonna prio the dragons once again? They do have a very much Exodia comp. They have a comp that wants to play towards the later after the game in the 5v5s. But you've also got a Zeri, who is notoriously known for bursting down towers. So which one do you want to prio here? We're going to be looking at Jerry, maybe looking for another bot side gank. The flashes are available for Scooter and Nukes, though. So we're going to take a pause on that conversation for the time being. Jerry is still looking for this. They're going to be under the tower now. That's going to be Jerry's cue to... Jerry, you can go now. He's not going. Okay, now Jerry is going. Okay, the flash forward out of Amanda, looking to get the stun off onto the the Lulu. It's gonna finally find it. Nuke's trying to burn out the flash, and this is looking a little bit like what happened last time around that Jerry came into this bot side, almost a complete replica, and that's gonna open up potentially the first dragon of the game.
Yeah, what happened there is Jerry wanted to wait because I'm assuming Attack Dog wanted to call off the gang for a little bit so they could clean up some of this wave. It was actually probably 10 minions just sitting on the tower, and Lost in Echoes wanted to get it played in the action, wanted to get the solo kill for themselves, so they go 1-0 on Kerrigan. Oh, but fortunately, they just get stomped on by I guess it's a blob. What is it? Just like a...
He's the slime ball.
Slime ball, kind of like those slime balls that you threw out windows when you were a kid, and they stuck there. And honestly, those are kind of gross because they just attracted all the hair and dust that just randomly picked up.
Oh yeah. Anyway, this is looking like as Prow's gonna go straight on in, get the double knockup, committing the ultimate too. Jerry, level 5, not gonna have an ultimate to respond with. This earlier division is gonna end up getting proc. Zom's gonna be looking to go in with that needlework, maybe able to find Amanda, so it is gonna go traded out so far. It's a passive proc off just for 2 kills. As the Lulu comes up into the nick of time. Maybe they're trying to find Lost in Echoes as well. Now gonna be able to help slow them down a bit. It's gonna be a great... Oh, HP Gamer re-engages here. It's able to land a knockup, but it's not able to stall out. But I was just about to say that this is looking like game number 1, but if the roles were reversed, Ember Wolves had the early advantage, they had the early leads, they had everything going for them in the early game, but this time, they only got 1 Void Grub, so I guess that's better than none. They stopped the 3 as, oh no, Kerrigan and Azam maybe biting off a little bit more than they can choose. Jerry X tries to go for it, but instead it's just gonna have to settle for pushing out this wave.
Yeah, actually, we had this conversation off camera about the idea of taking neutral objectives, where Ember Wolves were able to get that first dragon off a great gank play by Jerry X on bot side, but they bit off a little bit more than Kachu, trying to go for both neutral objectives, and they lost a lot there. Not only did they give up a few kills, they only got 1 Void Grub. So the ability to get 5 or 4 for Dorado is still there, and now you kind of got your soul laners back in the game. Has them picked up 2 kills for themselves, and they're just going to become really strong in this side lane. Who's going to deal with them in the later in the game? It has to be Lost in Echoes, but they can't really push up, and they're going to be a big part of their damage profile later in the game. So if you have to have them in the side lane, who's going to beat the rest of your damage in the other 4? Is it going to be Zeri? It's going to have to be.
Oh yeah, 100%. Until Echoes pulls up into the team fight, flying across the map as a dragon. But these Void Grubs do want to be prioritized by Dorado, because you have the Gwen. It's an obvious split pushing threat right then and there. Gwen notoriously known for taking out towers, and the Void Grubs just make it that much more sweeter. So we're gonna have a double recall coming out into the mid lane. The Sheen's proc picked up for Ezreal off of that fight inside the river, so he's going to have a little bit of an advantage, but the Rylai's has already been rushed. It's a little bit of a cheaper item out of Lost in Echoes, so now it wants to potentially push that lead into these objective fights, because Rylai's is a pretty substantial item, and with a composition like this that likes to fight, that's definitely something you want, as Hazam's going to be forced to proc out the Ghost. HP Gamer looking to potentially get the knockup. The Needlework's going to be coming out in response. HP Gamer goes unstopped. Does Hazam have the damage to poke back, though? It's not looking likely. It's going to have to settle out for the wave. This Gwen really not respecting the Ornn damage.
Yeah, if that knockup did land, that could have been an easy kill for HP Gamer, but I think it was a split second off. But yeah, it was close. I don't think the W was available for his M, and You know, if the Ornhorn hits, that's quite a bit of damage, and any of follow-up with another Brittle proc would have been the end of Hazem.
For sure. But now things are kind of starting to settle a bit on the Rift as I say that. It's Lost and Echoes maybe looking for a bot side gank onto Nukes and Scooter. Amanda going forward with the Braum Shield, maybe trying to look for some sort of stun, but that's going to give out that something is a little bit awry within the river as Echoes will get spotted out on the Pixel Brush ward eventually, and will have to retreat back into the mid lane as Kerrigan, maybe thinking he had a little bit more time, has to burn out the Arcane Shift already. No flash available on the board, just going to settle for a little bit of poke with the flash ward out of Jay. He's going to commit the Fallen Star as well and give the kill on over to the Aurelion Soul. This is looking like a completely different Ember Wolves team, Bully.
Yeah, they are definitely showing more life than they did in game 1, and look at that, Jerry X is going to take that kill and just go directly topside to try to get something going for HP Gamer, but they're just going to try to get a push in. HP Gamer does not have a lot of mana, actually has 0 mana left, so they're just going to get a reset, but Prow.
Oh, the flash out of HP Gamer gets pulled back in onto Jerry X, who does get the reset onto the Gwen, though. This is looking, the True Shot Barrage is going to end up going wide. Meanwhile, into the bot side, Nukes has gotten the better advantage out of Attack Dog. Maybe looking for the double kill. Will be able to find it. Scooter flashes forward for it to clean that one up. So finally, Nukes and Scooter getting some life breathed back into them in this bot side as they kind of, unfortunately, had a Zeri breathing down their neck off of the past couple of ganks out of Jerry X and Lost and Echoes coming down as well. So not really looking to push the Zeri in like they did last game. Dorado was the Zeri, so they didn't get pushed in last game. So, but they knew the game plan going up against the Zeri, but have been unable to execute until now.
Yeah, unfortunately for the top side, Proud thought Hazem would have enough damage or ability to go in, but the needlework being used before then, being basically one-shot, and you saw Jerry X did one-shot Hazem from their health bars, was able to just turn around. It was a pretty decent look, but just a miscalculation of how much damage they actually have versus how much damage can be put back down onto Hazem.
Meanwhile, Ember Wolves, Jerry X was able to walk up and smite off one of the Void Grubblings. I don't know why we didn't finish the other one on Dorado. Maybe Prowl was a little bit too low, wants to leave it. I don't really see a reason to leave it. You definitely want that 4 Void Grubs spike. It's a little bit better than it's gonna be better than having 3 on the board. Maybe felt it's just not necessary at the moment.
It's actually still right there, yeah. So I think they decided to look for that counter.
He's lonely.
But
he has no friends.
It could have been just a better play just to finish those off and then look for a play somewhere else. But look at the bot side.
Yeah, speaking of play, Scooter is forced to burn the ultimate onto themselves. True Shot Brock's going to be able to come down, but is not going to be able to find much of anything as this Prowl getting stunned up immediately. Polymorph comes down as well, trying to get out here. As here comes Echoes, gets able to help clean up this fight. Jerry X gets another reset on to the Vayne. The Fallen Star not really able to find much of anything. JX is going to get stunned up. That was a great re-engage out of Prowl to knock up Jerry X and keep Kerrigan alive here. But oh my, dude, this Viego's, this just like the tempo is really starting to be set by this Ember Wolves team. They found the angles that they needed to win this game. It's looking like they needed to shut down the bot lane, and they have been doing so because they felt last game HP Gamer got the better of Hazem, and so they're just going to leave him to his own accords in this top side to do that again. And now they just go to shut down the bot lane, and it's looking like Dorado is shutting down in response to it. HP's going to take another knockup out of the Call of the Forge God. Commits the needlework in response, but not going to do nearly enough damage to chunk down the Ornn. As Jerry's coming to the top side once again. This man has been all over the map here today. Ults forward, maybe trying to get the stun off, but is not going to be able to find anything. 4 members have moved to the top side here. That is absurd.
Yeah, they're definitely wanting to try to go for this Rift Herald, try to break open some turrets, trying to get some area of the map that they can control. But on the flip side, you still got Scooter and Nukes down here looking to get this push in, and most likely try to dive on their attack dog.
Well, Bully, if the game keeps going at this rate, who knows? Maybe Dorado are going to find themselves not in the favorite spot here, but to lose a map out to a team like Ember Wolves when you are considered one of the better teams in the league, going into playoffs, you're still in contention for that #1 seed spot. If Omega Yeatless end up dropping a game, this is not looking very good at the moment for the Dorado team.
Yeah, and Kerrigan actually lost a lot of their health. They didn't have any mana left. They have yet to finish one item, but actually the Triforce just gets completed, while Lost in Echoes is working on their second, and that's going to be a very scary Aurelion Soul in about 5 minutes, so it's definitely going to be that next dragon is going to be a major point of contest where it could put Ember on their soul point, but on the flip side, you still do have a lot of damage in the comp of Dorado, so we will probably see a big 5v5 team fight going for that dragon.
Yeah, neither of the top side laners have their teleports online or available, so neither one of them will be contesting this fight. So it's going to be realistically who wins out in this 4v4. Right now, I'm favoring Dorado a little bit because while the gold lead is on the side of Ember Wolves at the well, the gold lead's not technically on the side of Dorado, but the item lead, I guess you could say, is on the side of Ember Wolves. The Kraken is going to do a lot more in a fight with the PTA procs. Then the Static Shiv Zeri will. Even with Zeri going in with the ultimate, Static Shiv proccing off of the ultimate too, it's still like if Nukes is able to isolate like the Aesol or even Jerry X, PTA proccing off of Kraken autos is going to be significantly impactful going into this fight, as well as the Sunfire burn take damage, and you got Triforce over the side of Kerrigan too, so there's a lot of burst damage potential for this Dorado Gaming team if they can find a target to isolate, and that's going to be the hard part coming into this dragon fight.
Yeah, you can see a mid lane priority going over to Lost in Echoes, trying to get this pushed out so they can set up for this dragon fight. Amanda trying to control the vision in the dragon pit, but it's going to be pretty difficult for Dorado to actually force their way in with this kind of comp. They pretty much have to poke their way into a position where they can defend it. Right now, it looks like both teams are kind of on the outskirts, just waiting for this dragon to spawn to make a move. And back to the mid lane, just trying to get that pushed out once again.
For sure, but now the go button might be being called out for Ember Wolves. It's looking like they want to go in for the Dragon Prowl. You're going to be a little bit late to the fight. You don't want to give this one over, but you realistically don't have a choice anymore because the dragon is dead. It's gone. It was Ember Wolves who found the positioning, they found the advantage, and they moved in and struck. So they are going to be sitting at a free soul point right now. So what can you do if you are Dorado to respond to this? You need to find some sort of topside presence, some sort of topside prio. But it's hard because his M is just losing out in these trades to the Ornn. So you come up there, you risk losing a 2v1. Another call to Forge God. He's going to get a double knock-up. He's just going to get another solo bolo. Hazem is just absolutely getting destroyed by HP Gamer in this series. It's absurd. As meanwhile, Echoes and Amanda are going to be coming down into the bot side. The shoulder.
Nukes gets
coming out to double knock-up into the Fallen Star. Lulu ultimate is committed as well. Nukes, you're not going to be able to run away realistically from this one. It's going to be another kill over to Attack Dogs. And I will attempt to caster curse this. I think we're going to a game 3.
Yeah, in the dragon fight, you're going to see the power of the Aurelion Soul and the Zeri come out with that Shiv, where they're going to be able to get constant pressure and keep pushing out these waves to the point where they're going to have to get caught by one of the Dorado members. And at the point of when both mid lane and bot lane were getting pushed to a point where Dorado needed to catch or they're going to lose out on experience, Ember Wolves were able to jump on the dragon and get to a point where it was where Dorado can't contest it, or they're just going to go into a trap. So the third dragon was secured very well by Ember Wolves. And on the top side, like you said, HP Gamer is getting the better of Hazem right now, as this Ornn is getting extremely strong, and we're getting near those ornaments where you're going to see those intangible, the value of the ornaments come out to a point where you're going to gain 1,000 gold per member of extra damage into combat stats.
For sure, 13, and so he's going to be able to upgrade himself at the time being, but in the next couple level ups, they're going to be seeing that start to go down the list, and I believe that Attack Dog's going to be the first one to receive an upgrade, and then eventually Echoes. Maybe you go for Jerry X2, you know, he's pretty strong right now as well, onto this Viego. So far, both these teams looking phenomenal with a Viego on their side, so maybe that's a potential going to be a ban out going in to game number 3. Who knows what we're gonna see as JX is just heavily casually invading the jungle. Scooter, oh no, Scooter, that is unfortunate timing on the Hexgate portal there as HP Gamer maybe gonna get chunked down. It's gonna be able to flash over the wall, but will be a flash for a flash as JX is able to find the best out of Scooter there. Unfortunate timing on the Hextech Gaze. There's gonna be a true shot barrage going straight through Amanda and squad. Slingshot's gonna be charged up. It's gonna be able to get the knock up. It's gonna be Zeri ultimate committed as well. That's gonna be a Braum ultimate to begin to knock up Nukes and Kerrigan, and that's gonna be where the fight's gonna be re-engaged on. It's gonna be a reset for Jerry X, and the damage just is not there for the side of Emberwolves. It's a clean sweep, 1 for 4 on the side of Emberwolves, and they're gonna move that straight on into a potential Baron take.
I mean, that was Attack Dog's most favorite place to fight, where they're able to just pop the ulti and nuke everyone on the side of Dorado, and right there is perfect spot to die or perfect spot to win a fight if you're Emberwolves, as they can translate this to a pretty quick Baron. And a game that was close in gold is now just out of hand, where as Emberwolves, you're sitting with 3 dragons on Soul Point. You now have the Baron in your hand. Soul is in a minute 30 seconds, and it's an Ocean Soul. Like you said, I don't think you're going to cast your curses, but I think we're going to go to a game 3.
I mean, you would have to have a god level throw here for the side of Emberwolves, and with a team composition like this, I don't know how possible it is to throw with Ornn upgrading everybody. I feel like you could realistically are going to reach a point into this game no matter what, where you could just fight and win, because you're just that much far ahead. But yeah, the gold lead is going to be starting to dwindle more into the favor of Emberwolves. Off of this Baron, Jerry's just going to be leading the charge into the jungle. Nuke's going to potentially be caught out again. Not really much this squad can realistically do to fight for jungle presence. This is looking like a lot. Like, whatever Dorado Gaming did to Emberwolves last game is getting done to them by Emberwolves this game, as we have about a minute 45 left on this Baron buff. They're going to be looking to take a mid lane tier 2 here, as well as a bot lane tier 2. So they're going to try and get their money's worth out of this Baron buff, further extend this gold lead. Right now, it's not looking too drastic. Jerry is going to eat an arm out of Prow, looking for the stun, but it's going to be a double knock up out of the call. The Forge God Nukes is going to get engaged upon, knocked up, and solidified back to the respawn timers. Prow getting chunked down. The Ignite's going to be taking him away. He's not going to be able to heal up. But the bot side turret has been picked up as well. So it will be 1 kill and a bot turret at the meantime. They're going to be looking to take the mid tier 2 as well. So far, Ornn is upgrading someone's item too. And that is, I believe, Echo.
Oh, Kerrigan, Archangel 4. No.
Oh no, Kerrigan, unfortunate. Scooter getting potentially chunked down here as well. Kerrigan, it was Jerry X on the Viego who received the most recent Ornn upgrade. They're going to push this lead of the Viego. So the Soul was picked up in the meantime as well. Okay. Yeah,
picked up a little ago. But wait, was that Hextech?
It is Hextech.
So Hextech Soul was picked up, which means that it's a lot more slow, it's a lot more damage. You know, out of all the actual souls, Hextech, not my favorite. But
Chemtech's not really my favorite. It's kind of useless.
Chemtech is not. When they added the 2 more souls, it was like, come on, you're gonna do this? But I like the 4 original ones. I wish they kept it like that, but it's whatever. But a soul is a soul, and the position that Emberwolves is in is almost unlosable. And I say almost, because of course we've seen throws like this. We've seen throws 10k gold leads in souls, but this is a pretty hard spot to lose it.
Yeah, I agree with you here, Bully. I realistically don't know how this game could be tossed. Like I said, it's you're realistically gonna hit a point to where Emberwolves, if you just take a fight, you're gonna win no matter what, because you're just that much stronger. Like, you can take the worst fight imaginable and still win out. As Hazam is gonna get run down by Ornn once again. Procs Ghost, but is gonna get slowed up. Need to work just to try and do a little bit of chip damage. This top tier is going to be the one to fall. Inhibitor is going to be next. They're starting to siege into the base. Maybe Emberwolves are feeling the game ender on their plates right now. They're going to look in to push out this super minion wave coming into the mid lane. It could be the wave that ends the game. There's a couple waves in the bot side that are starting to stack up, and they're going to be coming down in as well. Maybe they're going to try to take all the inhibitors, you know, to beat League of Legends the way League of Legends is meant to be beaten, where you just take all of the map structures. Might as well. Prow, maybe looking for the slingshot. Engage. This last tower fight could be the one of their own. Many games are won and lost in this bot lane, though. Zeri is going to commit ultimate. Prow is getting choked down. The ASOL damage is absolutely absurd. And Attack Dog is just going to go for the engage off that. This great Fallen Star to clean everything up. And it's a sweep across the board. 5-4-0. And now they're just going to pull their super minion wave and end the game. We are going to a game 3. Can Emberwolves defeat Dorado Gaming Gamma? Can
it looks like they're all leaving the game, but in that fight right there, I think actually the Zeri was doing a lot more damage with the Hurricane and Shiv with the ultimate proc. It was just destroying everyone, but with the help of ASOL keeping them all together. Emberwolves coming back, fighting like game 1 never happened. Wow.
Oh yeah. I mean, if we took game 1 off the board, you would not think that this is a potential number 3 seed team going up against one of our favorites to win the entire league here. A very, very top 2 contender at that. You would not believe this with how that game played out over there. But yeah. I have realistic no words. It's going to be Dorado hitting the game board. I mean, maybe they played around too much. Maybe they underestimated this Ember Wolves team, and that got the better of them this time. That could be it.
I will be surprised to see if Zeri gets through next game, because that Zeri in both games actually been pretty strong. I do expect Dorado to actually take blue side in game 3, and it feels like the Viego can also be contested.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think this so far, whichever team has Zeri and Viego has won the game. So those 2 champs are either gonna get picked or banned going into this, and it's gonna all depend realistically on who is on the blue side. But we're gonna go ahead and throw it to a break. We do not want to keep you guys up all night, and I'm sure you guys are ready to get into game 3 to see who's going to win this, because Emberwolves just showed they might be able to upset. So I know you're ready to get into game number 3, and so are we. So we'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back to game number 3. And if you are just joining us, yes, you are correct. You're not seeing things. The score line is 1-1 between the Dorado Gaming Gamma and the Ember Wolves. We are at a game number 3 where Ember Wolves just are riding the momentum after a phenomenal game number 2 victory. Can they pull off the win? Can they pull off the upset? Or will Dorado Gaming snap back into form and decimate game number 3? Who knows what we're going to see? Everyone here is hating me because I said that it would be awesome to see Ember Wolves reverse sweep this after they losing game number 1. So everyone in the production set is starting to not like me right now.
I think Dorado kind of was too relaxed, think that they were going to cruise to an easy 2-0, but especially in the first 5 minutes, kind of the mood changed to when, top side gives up first blood, bot side gets ganked and gives up the second kill. And now you have a small deficit where Ember Wolves were able to just pull that lead and never give it back. And they were able to be a completely different team than game 1. And they looked a little bit more cohesive than they did in game 1. And if they bring that to game 3, then Dorado has to bring their A game or they're going to get upset by Ember.
Oh yeah, game number 2 was a completely different Ember Wolves team. If you missed out on it, you might want to go back into the VOD and rewatch it because by God, did they look on fire in game number 2. But here we have side swap once again. So far in this game, it's Zeri Viego 100% win rate, blue side 100% win rate in this series. And I'm going to be expecting some bans coming out for said champions. I do not expect there's one. Zeri Viego going to be potentially banned and or taken away. Ember Wolves maybe potentially banning out both of those champions to not give on over to Dorado Gaming, but that's going to open up the champs that are already banned away out of Ember Wolves. But one of those was a Rumble that they've consistently banned away. I don't think Dorado Gaming wants to go for that because we've already covered that Rumble's kind of laning phase is not as strong as it used to be given the new patch and the nerfs that have come down. Talia is going to be banned away. The Ornn is going to be taken away this time. No, I believe they banned away. I don't remember what they banned away third before.
Was Rumble. I bet this is Viego first pick.
Yeah, Viego first pick, right? 100%.
I imagine so, just because game 1 was picked by Pro, and then nope,
Corki.
they're gonna end up going with Corki.
So that's going to give over a potential Viego pick for the side of Ember Wolves if they do decide to go for it. I'm going to be expecting some sort of bot lane prio pick here. MF spanned away. Ezreal is going to be picked up. This could be Ezreal into the mid lane. We saw Attack Dog play Ezreal in game number 1 though, but that was in response to a Zeri, and did not have a Zeri to lane against this time around. So it's going to be Viego picked up again. No reason not to for Jerry X. This champion has a 100% win rate in this series. No Zeri to be picked up for Dorado this time around. So now it's like, okay, our champ's been picked. What do we pick in response now? It will be the Kai'Sa coming down. That's going to be given over to Nukes, although it could still be Kai'Sa mid. I doubt it really heavily, seriously. But it will be Nukes onto the Kai'Sa, another Hyper K champ, and we've got a Karthus into the jungle.
Yeah, the minute the Corki was picked, and the Kai'Sa was picked, you kind of assume that there's going to be a good possibility of AP jungler. The Karthus coming in, it does actually kind of flip the script a bit, where Karthus late game hard scaling champion, where now you're going to see Ember Wolves trying to take the initiative early game, trying to get leads, trying to get pressure on the map before this Karthus hits level 16, before Karthus hits 3 items in that crucial death cap, to the point where your squishy targets are just going to get half health with the one ability.
For sure. Requiem is free damage, especially with how strong Leandries is right now. Probably gonna maybe look to build into the Blackfire Torch as well. So just a couple items. Maybe could even go the Rylai's on Karthus.
No. Do not do that. Do not do that.
I've seen some crazy things, but
the idea of Karthus is that you want to get 2 items. You can see a bunch of things. You can see the Blackfire, Leandries, Death Cap, or you can go like Leandries, Malignant's Death Cap, but no matter what, you want your Death Cap
for the CDR would be big, actually.
Yeah, you want your Death Cap to always be in that 3rd slot, because if you suspend that item, it reduces your damage by quite a bit. And and you always want to try to maximize your damage as soon as possible. And if it takes too long to get your Death Cap, then you might not hit that late game Karthus spikes that you wanted. But Camille, I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be Camille in response to the Tom Kench for going into the top side. So we have the mid lane pick here, or potential bot side pick. It could be Ezreal mid still. That is a flex pick, but it would be the Kai'Sa Alistar into the bot side coming out of Dorado, and that's an Echo. Okay, so already this Alistar is going to have massive value. Going to be able to keep out Echoes. I mean, his name is literally Lost in Echoes. I'd expect him to be able to play Echo. So this Alistar is going to have a pretty big job on their hands. They've got to keep Echo and Jerry X out of the fight. HP Gamer not really going to be able to keep out of the fight. But you got a heavy split pushing threat out of this Camille, and another champion that can assassinate one of these carries over on the side of Ember Wolves. If they can get onto the Ezreal, that Hextech ultimatum he's not going to realistically be able to get away like the slippery snake that Ezreal is. So I realistically, with after how game 2 went, I have no clue how this game is going to go down. I'm going to come out still favoring Dorado though. I feel like with this kind of composition, they have a little bit more a sense of where direction they want to go. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to set the prio with a Karthus on your jungle, but maybe they're trying to slow the pace of this game down a bit.
I'm kind of worried about Ember's comp just because of the damage potential in the early game. Not so much late game. Late game, you do have quite a bit of damage, especially just Tom Kench has quite a bit of damage as well. But just early game, being able to get priority in these lanes and not letting the Corki Kai'Sa scale as hard is going to be difficult. Especially, you're going to have to put pressure on 3 champions: Corki, Kai'Sa, and the Karthus. But Camille will be able to do quite a bit top lane, but H3 Gamer's been doing pretty well in these tank versus like carry matchups, and I don't have a doubt that H3 Gamer's gonna be fine in his top lane this game as well.
I would hope so. I mean, H3 Gamer has been getting the best of Hazam throughout majority of this series. Tom Kench is while it's been on these tankier champions, I honestly wouldn't have been neglected to seeing HP Gamer with getting the better of Hazem on a top lane kind of carry champion. I know we talked about it off screen, but like the Renekton, like you mentioned, Bully, something like that, like a Jax, some sort of early game prio in this top side that could snowball from top to bottom throughout the game is well, I realistically wouldn't have minded seeing coming out of Ember Wolves is we're gonna have the bot side prio going in favor of Ember Wolves at the moment, respecting that all-in potential that the Ezreal Braum having a very strong level 1 and a very strong level 2. As Kaisa has a very strong level 1, but not as strong as Braum and Ezreal combined. So it's going to be both junglers kind of meeting towards this bot side scuttle. They want to go for these ganks. We saw JerryX win the game through the bot side ganks in game number 2 last game. So now maybe it's just going to be the Karthus looking to counter gank here as Echoes is getting some great trade-offs against a nerfed Corki in the mid lane, by the way. Nerfed Corki.
It's slightly nerfed. It's not a big deal. It's not as big as a Tristana nerf, but definitely it's a nerf to try to force Corki to max the Q first, instead of the E. The big thing about this matchup is that Lawson Echoes really wants to get priority as soon as possible to try to get JerryX into a position to invade this Karthus. But now Prow is able to get a full clear done. It was actually stepped on vision, so they know exactly where he is, and I don't think that Prow is going to actually step up to try to get the scuttle because the idea of where JerryX might be.
Yeah, I have to agree. And ProComps is saying that we have an even score throughout this matchup. It's about 50%. ProComps, I don't know if you've played League, but sometimes it is 50-50 whether or not someone wins or loses. It can be, you have a 50% chance of winning a game. That's and the other team has a 50% chance of winning the game. That typically be how gaming goes.
Yeah.
But
Off screen, Prow actually had to flash away from JerryX on that scuttle fight. So JerryX found him in the red side jungle of Prow. So Karthus down a flash, not a big deal, but going down a scuttle and then top side scuttle really is going to be taken by Prow soon.
Kerrigan finding themselves on the wrong side of the tower here. Is going to be traded out by Echoes. But these trades are still going back and forth, so Kerrigan's able to find at least the return fires. It's going to be Hazem dropping down in mana. I think I'm starting to see a little bit of a gank coming in here. Prowess coming into the top side. Stun's going to end up landing onto Hazem. Maybe HP Gamer wanting to go 1-for-1. JerryX is going to be there for a little bit of the counter gank. It's going to go flash for flash. Now they're going to turn their sights down onto Prow. The knockout's going to be able to come down. Can he get the stun though, HP Gamer? And it will. It's first blood again for HP Gamer in this top side. Why haven't you put this guy on a carry champ, man?
I think he finds his zone as a tank champion because of how tanky he is. But unfortunately, if that went to JerryX, that would have been some bad news for Dorado. But even then, what a good counter gank by JerryX. Going up to secure the Krugs, then trying to meet up for the counter gank top side as Prow couldn't land those Skittles very easily and just didn't have enough damage to burst down HP Gamer until Jerry got there. But look at mid lane. We might see a flash. Yep, there it is.
Oh, Kerrigan able to find the flash for flash onto Echoes. So that's going to be mid lane prio potentially picked up here. Neither one of them having TP here. So a 20 CS lead already in the pocket out of Kerrigan. It's going to be able to shove out this wave and look for the recall. So Echoes is going to lose a lot off of that death there. Not only does he give over a kill, but he loses an entire wave and a half almost.
And you find the power of Corgi right there is where Lawson Echoes actually had the counter pick in this matchup and is down pretty heavily in this mid lane, as you don't want Kerrigan to get strong. Oh, and top side, we got another solo kill. HP Gamer taking down Hazem once again, but this time is a solo bolo.
I guess,
Dang.
I mean, realistically, Bully, no matter which way this series goes, we have to say that, like, HP Gamer has gotten the best of Hazem in this series. Just hands down. No matter which way this goes, at least, like, this top lane matchup has definitely been one-sided, with or without the ganks. It's just, it's been phenomenal.
In game one, I would say it's a lot closer, but it's just a little bit over aggressiveness by Hazem that got the better of him. But game two is all HP Gamer. Game three, it's so far all HP Gamer, where Hazem is playing a little bit too disrespectful.
I
Got it.
have to agree. As I'm looking for the potential kill here, is going to end up getting eaten up? No way! And he
His fat-
throws him in. He gets the stun
Wow.
off, maybe under tower. Oh no, he doesn't walk under
That
tower.
is
No!
just
No, he does not. Oh, the catfish
Alright.
in the top side.
You know, I think instead of being outplayed, you're just outplaying yourself at that point. As Zem just made all the wrong moves at the wrong times, but Grub's being taken by Dorado. They're gonna secure all three, and you know, neutrals just get traded. Um, yeah,
For sure. But 3 will be picked up for Dorado, already looking in a phenomenal spot right now in terms of that. They go Draken for Grubs, looking a little bit like game number 1 did so far, even across the board, with like topside being down a bit, and the rest of the map being ahead a little bit, and you trade Void Grubs for the first dragon. That's kind of about the same way that game number 1 went. So if we're replicating that, Dorado, you're doing a phenomenal job, and you're going to end up winning the series. But so far, Ember Wolves, they're looking that they're going to ride this momentum and potentially get this upset.
yeah. Look at right here. Amanda is actually behind Nukes and Scooter, but just gonna tag them up with the. I believe that's called the Winter's Bite. But no, it's not.
I just call it the boulder toss because I don't know.
Yeah,
I forgot what it was
Winter's
called.
Bite's something else. Wait, maybe it is. You know what?
It's called. I forgot what it was called. I
What's the Winter's Bite
remember a
called?
long time ago. I can just pull it up, but
Yeah, you know, just it's actually kind of a. Oh, we have a small tussle in the mid lane, and I think Echoes might have to be forced back here with that.
yeah, Echo's not so far winning out in the trade-offs here into the mid lane. Is down 20 CS as well and a kill.
Oh, it is Winter's Bite. Haha.
It is. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
As we have a bot side gang coming in. Attack Dog is going to be able to arcane shift forward, but has no mana to be able to respond out with a Q. And Hazam is still down mana. Is this what's happening? Is he taking these trades while he has no mana? He should not come back to lane and have no mana as soon as he comes back to lane.
The problem is, like, believe he's trying to use it to take these fast trades, but HP Gamer is just so tanky at this point with the Giant's Belt and a couple more items where it's too hard to burst HP Gamer to a point where it's like gonna stick on them for a long period of time. And look at that, the Heartsteel completed on this Tom Kench.
Yeah. The scaling is going to go crazy. It's going to be one big old catfish as soon as we hit the 30-minute mark, which neither game has hit 30 minutes yet. The last game was 29, I believe, so we didn't hit the full 30-minute mark. We're going to see, hopefully, we can keep that trend, and the game will be over in the next 10 minutes. But who knows? Maybe it'll go even longer.
Prow is actually close to finishing the Blackfire Torch. The Requiem is available, so we gotta watch for these health bars on the side of Ember Wolves. If they get dangerously low, you can see that used pretty often. I did not touch on this, but what's that rune called that he's using? I'm blanking here. Can't believe I'm blanking. I'm an ARAM player. What is this?
Who are you
The
talking about?
Karthus.
That is Dark Harvest.
Dark Harvest. I can't believe I forgot that. Maybe I'm losing my memory. But Dark Harvest actually is getting nuked pretty heavily to the point where most Karthus players are actually taking first strike.
True. Extra golden.
So it was pretty interesting that he still opts to go for that Dark Harvest, sitting at 10 minutes. I believe he got one onto HP Gamer early in the game, but we gotta fight in the bot lane.
Yeah, that's a great knock-up engage coming out of Scooter. They're gonna be difficult to find the kills here. Braum and Ezreal, two of the probably hardest champs to kill into the bot side because Ezreal has such self-sustainability, and Braum shield is just gonna be able to eat up a ton of damage. It's almost like shooting at a Pantheon shield is how much damage it negates. It's actually absurd, as Amanda's gonna be looking for a full re-push forward. It's gonna be the Arcane Shift aggressiveness coming out of Attack Dog. It's gonna be able to chunk down the Moo Cow. And, you know, top side, it's calmed down a bit in the top side. I think after that Heartsteel prac, Hazem is not really looking to make any sort of trade-offs. Because
you sure about that?
I guess I'm not sure about that at all. Because, you know, I figured, you know, he was going to calm down and not give over any Heartsteel stacks. But, instead he's going to give over a kill.
HP Gamer says, no, where you go, and eats Hazem and gets a kill. 3-0 on this Tom Kench. On the flip side, they're taking the dragon on the bot side, so that's 2 dragons in the hands of Ember Wolves. And looking at a small goal lead, but this Ember Wolves team shocking the world in Game 2 and now doing it again in Game 3.
They're making a unprecedented playoffs run here, Billy, is what I'm feeling. They want to fight for that number 3 seed spot, and they want to solidify it for themselves. Maybe they could be the Trojan horse within this playoff bracket that will be coming up soon. Later on, as we are in week 5, we have about 8 weeks of regular season, so we got about 3 to 4 weeks left of regular season here. So playoffs will be soon, but yeah, this Emerald team, if they continue to play like this, they could be a crowd favorite going into the end of season.
Yeah, and you saw right there, Proud actually took the second set of 40 reps. So that's going to be 6. That's going to be Grepageddon for Dorado. So if they could use this wisely, where, you know, they have a small timer in the next minute to try to get as many plates as possible, but even after that, they're going to be able to take these turrets pretty quickly. So if they get time with any of these structures, they're going to be able to get a lot of gold back in their pockets. But in the top side, we see HP Gamer winning blood once again.
Yeah, you know, the Balmy Cinder has been picked up for HP Gamer, so he's feeling that he's going to win out on these trades. Sheen has been picked up for Hazem, but a little bit too late. This HP stacking has already been picked up. Well, true damage is technically the way you beat, I mean, everything. If you have enough damage, realistically, it can counter HP. It could counter HP, but yeah, true damage on the Camille is what's going to help chunk down a lot of this Tom Kench's HP bar going later on into the game. But it's going to be a lot more difficult. Is he already at 100 Heartsteel stacks? That's crazy.
Yep.
That is
Yeah,
absolutely absurd.
The Sheen was actually picked up a lot sooner. So it was a phase that was just picked up.
Okay.
But the Sheen just didn't do anything because at that point, HP Gamer was just already so strong. But 100 Heartsteel stack, and it's going to be completed. Tom Kench is going to complete this on fire pretty quickly as well, with how well they're CSing and how much pressure they have in this topside turret. The only thing that Hazem is going for them is that if HP Gamer decides to go to another lane to try to get something going, Hazem should be able to take that turret and topside pretty quickly.
I agree. I think that the split pushing Camille is going to be a win con later on into the game. Somebody's going to have to respond to her. And who better than HP Gamer at this point? He seems to be getting the better of Hazem. And so you send this Tom Kench into the side lane. That enables you to win out in the 4v4. And all you have to do is not let Diego get a reset. And Kerrigan is already doing a phenomenal job up against the Echo. The Lichbane has been completed as well as the Triforce for both mid laners. They both got their TPs online, but the Herald has already been picked up. No real objective to fight for at the moment. But I feel like the damage, like you mentioned, it's not going to be realistically there unless Jerry
we got to find the bot side.
This Echoes is going to fall to nukes. That's going to start getting your Kaisa online. And so I think that in this 4v4, if Camille can pull the Tom Kench into the side lane, the damage will be better coming out of Dorado.
Yeah. And we see right there is the repair levels he's made, and the crash is going to happen, and so Jerry X needs to get out of dodge. But on the flip side, I don't think I've seen Predator actually press R1 game. The Requiem, I believe, has been unused to this point. And on top of that, I do think he only has 1 stack on his Dark Harvest. So it's not the fastest scaling card this, but look at the top side. Oh,
It wants to kill HP Gamer. Proud might have stepped a little bit too far forward though. Stun's not gonna be able to come out of HP Gamer. Oh, but Prow is extremely weak. Now, Nukes was in the area too. That could have went really, really bad for Ember Wolves, but I'm glad that they backed off there. Tom Kench has a 200 gold bounty. Like, what? He has a 30 CS lead as well. Like, this is this is a funny world we live in, bully.
yeah. I mean, he's so strong. He has a massive bounty, and I wouldn't say massive, but he has a bounty where if you're Dorado, you're trying to just cash in onto that. But without the ultimate on the Kaisa, it's too difficult to actually cut down or to actually kill
There goes.
HP Gamer.
Potentially caught out again. Nukes is going to be responding to Amanda. It's a great double knockup out of the Braum, but Nukes has already found the kill onto the Echo. The TP is going to be committed as well as the Zem. It's going to be the Hextech Ultimata coming down onto Braum, the support. The shield's going to be able to block up a bunch of damage, but it's a great flash knockup. Headbutt out of Amanda into Kerrigan, who's able to clean up the kill. So the damage is coming online for this Dorado Gaming team, and with Tom Kench all the way out in Narnia that they don't have to worry about. This is the 4v4. These are the fights that I was saying Dorado were going to be able to come out on top of, and it's looking just like that.
That was a very important fight for Dorado, especially because, yes, the idea of Hazem losing pretty hard to HP Gamer is unfortunate, but instead of, trying to protect his turret, they decided TP to try to secure this dragon, which would have become sole point if Ember would have caught it. But look at this, HP Gamer might actually just go down here. He's so tanky.
The Requiem. There's the Requiem like you wanted. It's a shutdown in the pocket of the Karthus.
Oh.
As Em's gonna get the stun off onto Echoes, who ults all the way back from TP. I didn't even know that was possible.
That's a double kill, actually.
Wait, did he? Oh,
Yeah, so that's a double kill. Actually, Jerry X, I
Requiem.
believe, tried to go for the dragon on the bottom side of the map, and they go 1-for-1. Both Prow went down, but the Requiem was able to kill off Jerry X on the flip side. So a lot of gold going to Prow on this Karthus, and the Karthus that was pretty weak going forward because of the Dark Hour stacks is now pretty strong with the 2 extra kills in their pocket.
Oh yeah, I can see, the Karthus is gonna start coming online now. You might have cast a Curse to Bully, you said it was gonna be a slow scaling Karthus, and now he just got a shutdown. And he got
It
even
takes
more
one
gold.
button to start scaling.
I know, he's gonna be scaling even harder. Kerrigan's just
Yep.
looking to pump damage down into Amanda and Echoes. And Shazam's gonna be looking to go over the wall, gets the W's flash onto Amanda. But nothing else is gonna be able to come up with this.
The biggest thing that happened in that entire series of events was taking the dragon on Dorado. And if
Right.
Dorado lost that dragon, then they're going to be forced to try to go for that 4th dragon, Stop the Soul. It is an Ocean Soul, so they do not want to give that into hands of HB Gamer
No.
and the entire team of Ember Wolves. So now they still have room to play, and they're scaling pretty hard, especially the Corki sitting on 202. Kerrigan is very strong. Almost completed their second item as the Man Immune. And then Nuke's already completed the second item, and then the Karthus completing the Leandries with the 3rd item. Everyone is actually on a timer at this point.
Yeah. Well, it's not much of a gold lead. It is a slight gold lead. And it's going to matter because that slight gold lead is about an item or two. Zem's just going to be able to eat that knockup. Might be able to win out this one though, because Kerrigan is within the area. He's just going to flash the Ramazzold, eat Hazem anyway, and just the W gets cancelled out from the stun. He's just casually 1v3ing. Yeah, the Catfish is gonna get fried this time around. Kerrigan is able to pick up the kill, and onto this Corki, like you were just mentioning, is already so far ahead. And now you've got a Corki and a Kaisa that you could realistically fight through if you're a Dorado. That's a ton of damage in your back pocket, whereas the carries on the side of Emberwolves have not.
They have a Baron timer at this point too.
Yeah,
because of no TP on Lost and Echoes.
Jerry, if Jerry steals this, I think I would like.
This is a turn angle. They're not gonna. They're actually.
Oh, the Hextech Ultimatum onto Attack Dog, and he gets the W proc off too. The Bramble just for a little bit of disengage, if at all possible, as the Rockets are gonna keep chunking them down. The Requiem, is it enough burst damage? It is not nearly, as a red and blue buff are on Attack Dog, so he's gonna be able to heal just right back up. But they're gonna go straight back on into the Baron with this kind of HP bar. This is pretty daunting if you're the side of Emberwolves. But there's Echoes is into the bot side. No TP. HP Gamer has arrived. They're feeling the tank is here. They're feeling that it's winnable. As holy Hazem comes out of nowhere to assassinate the Ezreal. Will give over their life and give over it's a reset for Jerry. As Nukes is able to find the Tom Kench. Their bot side, their entire base is getting taken while Jerry is getting the resets. Will eventually end up falling. So you go 3 for 2, but lose an inhibitor turret in the meantime as well.
Yeah, Lost and Echoes picked up a lot of gold, was not able to take the inhibitor at that point, so the turret was good, but the unfortunate is they overchased and tried to restart the Baron when it was just over at that point, and then they needed to just look for another play, and that play would have been taking down mid-turret and then protecting their bot side, but instead they looked for the Baron again. Yes, they won the fight, but they lost a lot of their turret structure in the bot side.
I agree. And here you see the replay. HP Gamer comes in. You feel that this Ember Wolves team, they want to play around this Tom Kench. This is kind of the double-edged sword. HP Gamer wins out in the top side. Yes, you don't have to worry about a Camille early on into the game. That's fine. You get a tank scaling, though. A tank scaling, whereas your other carries aren't really getting online. Jerry X didn't get a lot of those early kills that he got last time onto the Diego. The bot side prio is not realistically there, and neither is the kills into the mid lane. Yeah, you have a two-item Echoes. It's going to be a great ult in out of Nukes. As I say that, I might have cursed him. It's going to be a good knock-up coming out of Scooter just to try and go for the disengage. Echo is forced to use the ulti. I believe that here comes his end, though. Don't put this fight out of the books just yet. Jerry X is looking to continue to go forward. The Karthus has arrived to the fight. Kerrigan is going to go 1-for-1. Hazem is able to kill out onto the Yetro with the flank off. Is going to be able to find him in. And next on the chopping block, HP Gamer is the last one realistically left standing as the Echo is forced to retreat from the fight. Gets the shutdown over onto the Karthus. So is able to commit the Requiem. It's Hazem looking for a trade-off on to HP Gamer, who just eats him up once again. Flashes the ram his ultimate. Who's going to win out on this 1v1 this time around? I think Hazem is going to pull the white flag out and give this one on up, but it's a 3-for-4 trade-off. Nothing on the map can realistically happen from either of these two teams for this, so it's like...
No, it was actually a 4-for-4 total. Extended fight.
Yeah, the Echo did die.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Requiem actually killed off Austin Echoes in that fight, and I think we're just gonna have a rematch in the Dragon Pit right here. But this time, no Requiem to be ahead for Prow, and the mid lane turret is gonna actually be taken down, and System's gonna take that. But the timer for the Dragon is gonna be given up as Ember Wolves is just gonna take full control of the vision on their. Oh.
Yeah, they're gonna go for an engage onto Hazem. Maybe HP Gamer.
I think Hazem's is dead.
Yep, he's dead.
Yep, there
That's
it is.
Jerry X. Jerry X now has a reset onto a Camille. Does not choose to engage with that, though. No ultimates realistically are online for the side of...
It's gonna be a Baron. They gotta be careful. They cannot just commit for this Dragon, as the Baron is gonna be taken by Nukes and Kerrigan pretty quickly.
Did you see where Scooter just ran from? How did he get there?
I think he took the... Yeah, he was waiting for the flank, but this is the problem that you have, is that you don't need to commit all 5 members to try to take this Dragon because of how quick the Baron take is for Dorado. As a Kaisa Corki will destroy that Baron, and a winning fight for Ember Wolves became a losing trade because they get the 3rd Dragon but give up the Baron.
They also get a mid-tier too. Maybe Scooter falls as well. Not going to be able to tremble the ground and get a stun up there. It's going to headbutt the Tom Kench away. I feel like that's a little disregarding. It's a great Hex-Up ultimatum into the E from HP Gamer. He played that perfectly, keeping the 80 carry alive. A phenomenal play coming out of the top side. It's a true shot barrage. The stun off of the Echoes is able to find Hazem. The top laner has already fallen. It's a 2-for-0 trade at the moment off of 1 stun coming in over the wall from Echoes. I mean, we were waiting for plays like this from that guy the entire game, and finally he's able to come up big for his team. So you get the Dragon, you get mid lane tier 2, and you get 2 kills. Sure, they got the Baron, but you are finding these trade-offs on Ember Wolves. This game is 100% winnable.
Oh, Nukes actually gets tagged up.
The Winter's Bite. Nukes is going to get knocked up too. And Attack Dog is chucking in those mythic shots. Prow is next on the chopping board. Will get stunned up. Can get double stunned up. Is going to get knocked up here too. Can't really knock up a Karthus though. But yeah, oh my, Jerry X is getting these kills too. This is looking pretty dire for Dorado right now.
I mean, if you're Dorado, you have no business being on that side of the map. 2 of your members are down, and you're just going to La La Wonderland, just trying to see what you could find. And you found death right there, my friend. As we see Ember Wolves actually just pushing down mid lane turret, they're looking for the inhibitor in their eyes.
Yep, that's going to be demolished. Brock, another knock up onto HP Gamer, but again, that's a tank. They're not realistically worried too much about that. But these fights are starting to so far seem like just full Ember Wolves right now. It's crazy. They're going up against a Baron buff, and now they're going to be on Soul Point 2 in the next 3 minutes. That's going to be an Ocean Soul that they can give on over to a Tom Kench of all things. You definitely don't want to give that on over to them. Lots of 3-item power spikes are starting to get hit as Jerry X has their 3rd before the Karthus does, before a lot of the members of Dorado do, but 3 have been picked up for the Kaisa before the Ezreal. And so now you kind of want to push this, but the Rabadons has been finished for Echoes. he wants to fight left, right, and center right now with his Viego, with his Tom Kench. And so you've got Kaisa with little to no front, well, kind of a front line with the Camille and the Alistar going up against what looks like a brick wall right now out of Ember Wolves.
Yeah, it looks like his end is gonna be fine. Just showing some BM in the top side, but I'm disappointed and proud because they're opting to go for the Zonk Dorado. Come on, man. Got to get that death cap, and it's going to delay a lot of their power spike. We see how much damage that Requiem could do right now, but think about with the death cap how much damage that will do to the point where any team fight is impossible to play. Nukes. I know Nukes wanted to take that killer instinct in to try to kill Lost and Echoes, but they know better.
I agree. They should definitely know better. I wholeheartedly agree with you there. Scooter's gonna get chunked down a little bit out of Attack Dog as we have a fight inside the jungle. Jerry's gonna get a reset onto Hazem, looking to go over the wall. Gonna get the stun off on the Prowess, gonna find the kill anyway. It's a double kill. Does not want to take the reset onto the Karthus. There's nothing realistically on the map to take just yet, except for a mid inhibitor turret and tower. The wave will be a little bit late to the party though.
It's just not that. It's, 2 down for 40 seconds. They could take a lot of this map control right now.
Oh yeah. Just HP Ember, just take it. Yeah, just
tank
tank the tower. You have demo. Just tank the tower. You're not gonna.
No, you got to be careful of tanking a tower, especially against a Corki, guys. you can't.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have taken. They could have.
Soul Point is coming up in 49 seconds, where
Nukes gets nuked down, regardless of his aim, and the stun up it's there. Amanda's able to clean up one to Kerrigan. Echoes is coming in for the kill as well onto this. This is going to be the upset bully. No way, Dorado is going to fall to Ember Wolves, and they're going to be able to push on into this base. Requiem, maybe a last-ditch effort here. Going to get a ton of burn damage down. Echoes looking for one last-ditch stun, but is not going to be able to find it. Jerix gets another reset onto the Camille as Nukes maybe potentially falls. Has to flash into the Fountain. Prow is the next one on the chopping board to fall, but is able to clean up at least onto the 80 carry. So a little bit of the tower taking damage has been taken away for the side of Ember Wolves. They are a little bit low on HP too, but they're going to continue to push for this. They feel like they can end the game. Now, I mean, with the respawn timers, it's only Nukes. They don't feel like he has the damage to be able to stop them.
Left. They were done. This is going to be game.
It's over. This is game. Ember Wolves take it 2-1. Oh my Jesus.
In a major upset, Ember Wolves, they came out looking like a different team in Game 2, and they decided to just bring that on to Game 3. It was a lot closer in Game 3, but just a couple missteps here and there for Dorado just spelled their end as Ember Wolves decide that it's our time to shine. We're taking this one. We're going to go to playoffs, and if we meet you in playoffs, we're going to do it again.
I can't help but feel like I can't help but feel like I spawned this into fruition. I said time and time again, off camera, with the talking with production and you guys off stream, and I was like, I had a feeling Ember Wolves could win this one out 2-1, and they get the full 2 map wins in a row up against Dorado, and wow, what a series. I'm not even mad this went to a Game 3 because I was not expecting this coming into tonight.
Yeah, we did see that 50-50 from pro comps right there, and that definitely was a 50-50. That was just a small set of mistakes that was the difference between winning and losing this game. But Ember Wolves, on the back of HP Gamer, has done it. They played very well in all 3 games, and they know their limits. And a big shout out to Jerry X. I think the Viego 100% win rate in this series was a difference.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Viego has a 100% win rate in this series, hands down. It's absolutely absurd to me. But yeah, HP Gamer gets MVP vote for the entire series, in my opinion, because it just, while usually you win out in the top side, it's like, okay, we can win out in the bot side and beat the enemy fed top laner later on. Like, it won't really matter. But HP Gamer was able to push those leads, and the way that Jerry, the jungler, played off of the leads that HP was able to get, it was just phenomenal. Left, right, and center coming out of Ember Wolves. If you are going into playoffs and you are a top team, this Ember Wolves team is an absolutely disgusting Trojan horse right now. They will and can defeat you, and Dorado has learned that the hard way this time around.
Yeah, a big thing is when you're playing against a split pushing like hyper carry, kind of like Gwen or Camille, where it gets kind of dangerous if that Camille or Gwen gets fed. Being a tank player and being able to win to the point where those champions are just gonna be invalid just makes the entire game for your team just that much easier. And in both game 2 and 3, HP Gamer had done that. Jerry definitely stepping up in game 2 or 3, and then both Lost and Echoes, Attack Dog, Amanda, or I said both, but all three is doing very well to push the lead that they got and held it.
For sure. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. What a banger of a series we had here. But we will see you guys next week for week number 6. And make sure if you want to keep up to date with everything following the Titan Esports League, to make sure you can join our Discord, follow us on all of our social medias where we keep up to date, and even head up our YouTube. We have content posted on our YouTube every now and then with predictions and league scouting and analyzations. So make sure you go ahead and hit up all of our social medias if you are a Titan Esports fan, and we will see you guys next Monday, I believe, with some more Titan Esports.